Okay, this video here is going to show basically what you need to be a twink and how to successfully do it. So let's get started with the overall basics. Okay, part 1. What is a twink? Twink started a long time ago. The term was even used in some MUGs, but it is my understanding that EverQuest made the term popular. A twink is someone who gets the best gear for a certain level and stays that level to beat people in PvP. Although in EverQuest the term could be used in PvE as well. For examples, Warhammer, the Endless Trial allows you to be capped at level 10, which means you get to do Tier 1 RVR forever. And WoW, Battlegrounds didn't used to give you experience, but now even that they do, you can turn off experience to stay capped in the level 10 through 19 bracket with the best gear and enchants for that level. Alright, here's the basics. In Warhammer, Trials can make talismans and even potions, although these skills cannot reach their full potential unless you subscribe. Even so, you can make decent talismans and potions on the trial, but for this guide it is highly recommended you have a pay-to-play account as well as the Twink account. Twinking costs decent money. This guide will require you to spend anywhere from 50 to 400 gold. Most of that isn't even from the gear you will buy, it is from the potions and talismans. Okay, part 3. It surprises me how many twinks I see running around with no potions. Potions make a huge difference in a fight. They range from instant heals to bubbles to even temporary buffs. Needless to say, these are essential to twinking. As I said before, trials can make their own potions, but they are nowhere near as strong as the pay-to-play ones. Some of the potions you will need are the following. Alright, first off are armor potions. These are essential no matter what class you are. You need to have these on you at all times. The average armor potion gives you 198 armor for 1 hour, and I've seen some, but very rarely, that give you 247 armor. On classes such as Bright Wizards, this gives you more room to use intellect talismans rather than armor ones. Armor potions are even necessary for tank classes. Example, Squig Herders can debuff 247 armor in Tier 1 RVR. With one of these potions you lose 0 to 50 armor rather than the 247. Next up are heals and heal over time potions. These potions are a no-brainer. They can be obtained through the Recruit Medallion Quartermaster in the Tier 1 War Camp, and the HOTS can be getting at the auction house. They obviously heal you or place a HOT on you. Very helpful in certain situations. Say I'm out on Shadow and I'm going 1 versus 4 and it's getting intense. I'm at half health and I pop Divine Assault, but as soon as I do a tank or a squig taunts me. Now I'm screwed, right? No, because I have potions. The next potions you will need are bubbles. These are great for everyone, but especially the classes who can't heal themselves. Bubbles range from 700 to 810 absorption. This means that when you pop one of these, you absorb the next 700 to 810 damage done to you. Say you're an Ironbreaker and you're running with a Rune Priest, but he dies. You're screwed, right? No, pop the bubble and it will buy you time for your healer to rush to your aid. The next potions you will need are stat potions. They basically do what they sound like. They buff a certain stat for a certain amount of time. These aren't as essential as armor or healing potions, but if you have the money and find some, I'd be sure to pick them up. Keep in mind that even if you are over the sock cap, if you don't know what that is, I'll explain it later, you can still pick up some of these potions because remember, a lot of classes have debuffs. Just use your brain when you're picking these. Ballistic is for range, strength is for melee, toughness is for healer. Yeah, that's right, I said toughness for healers. Healers, especially Archmages and Rune Priests, lack the amount of toughness they need to be a successful twink. So healers, don't bother with willpower or intellect and go with the toughness. By the way, yes, you can have an armor potion and a stat potion on at the same time, and they both persist through death. Okay, this is where great twinks separate from failed twinks. I see many people screw this up, and most of the time they won't take any of my advice and read talismaning. When twinking, you have to keep in mind that the majority of people in Tier 1 are new to the game. Not to be rude, but most of the healers are idiots and don't realize that their job is to heal and not do damage. This being said, you need to gym most classes defensively. When twinking, no matter what class, you need to be armor capped. What is armor capped? You're about to find out. Armor capping is when you have the highest amount of armor you can for your level. Most people misinterpret this and stack all armor. The armor cap for Tier 1 is 75%. What you want to do is have your percent of damage reduction from armor be 75%, not including your armor potion. The armor potion is to bring you over the cap, so if you get debuffed, like mentioned before in the video, you will still be at the armor cap. The highest armor talisman you can get in Tier 1 is a level 8 purple 74 plus armor gem. I recommend putting these in your chest, gloves, belt, and weapon. Throw some 62 plus armor gems in the rest of your gear. Keep adding the armor until you get capped. For some people this may mean stacking all armor, but for others you have different options. Many people don't know, but certain talismans in Tier 1 can be gotten that increase melee range or magic power. These range from 18 to 24 in Tier 1. They can be one of the hardest and most difficult talismans to make in the game. I've only seen one in the auction house. It was an 18 melee power and I got it from Ironbreaker. These talismans can be gotten and used in gloves only though. If you are armor capped or even around 70% and you can get your hands on one of these, I'd recommend it. If not, and you are over the armor cap, you need to get toughness talismans. Now toughness talismans are the most expensive, tied with wounds, talismans in Tier 1. On my server, Iron Rock, they are 60 gold apiece. That is for the 16 through 17 plus toughness ones. But if you can get the 12 through 13 toughness talismans for 1 through 5 gold, which like it is on my server, that's still great. So if you're armor capped and have an extra slot, go with the toughness talisman if you can't get one of the power talismans in your gloves. The next thing is renown points. Straight and simple, no matter what class you are, you need to use your renown points in toughness. At renown rank 10, which you should be at, it gives you 30 plus toughness. Okay, the next part is picking a class. Before you invest all this time and money into a twink class, pick a class based on the big picture. If you're going to be twinking with a partner, I recommend the healer and tank combo, the best being Warrior Priest and Ironbreaker. The Warrior Priest Ironbreaker combo is so great because the Warrior Priest is an amazing defensive twin class and the Ironbreaker offers guard and multiple buffs. The Ironbreaker can give the Warrior Priest 30 toughness, 30 strength, 247 armor, and 120 willpower all at the same time while taking 50% of the Warrior Priest's damage. The Warrior Priest has a buff to his or her party that will give a 20% chance on every hit to heal for 100 damage. It has no cooldown, and Divine Strike and AoE heal when hitting, and since Divine Strike can't be pushed back, but taunt can't interrupt it, it will bring anyone from half health to full health in a matter of seconds. The Warrior Priest Ironbreaker combo is by far the best combo in Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3, and it even poses a great challenge in Tier 4. If you aren't teaming with anyone in particular on your twink, it would be a wise choice to pick a healer or Warrior Priest in particular, but if you had your mind set on a tank, that is the next best choice. Every tank class makes a good twink, but the best are Chosen, Blackguard, and Ironbreaker in that order. Okay, the final part of the twinking process is getting the gear you'll need. Now I know most of the twinking gear such as Worthy, Prudent, Gale Runners, War-Torn, Tempest Riders, Storm Curses, everything has been taken out of the game. Now, but you can still get some decent items. To start off with the obvious, your chest and boots need to be the Decimator set. The chest rocks for every class, and although the boots aren't that great, they redeem themselves by giving you a good set bonus with the chest. With the removal of all the helms and capes and shoulders from Tier 1, it is not worth talking about them. Belts and gloves should be the same kind for every class. It should be the average, whatever class you need it for, light armor, medium robe, anything like that, of Volition. The average gear is level 8 and is the best gloves and belt you can find in Tier 1. Yes, the belt is better than the RVR Influence Reward. And make sure you pick up the Volition version of these pieces. For those that don't know, Volition equals toughness. With the removal of Worthy and Prudent weapons, your best bet now for any class is the Tier 1 RVR Reward. Remember, when socketing the weapon, have 1 armor gem and 1 toughness gem. I see many tweaks running around with the jewelry of vengeance that gives wounds. Don't go with the wounds and pick up the toughness rings. I can't stress enough how much after you hit the armor cap do you want to do whatever you can to bring your toughness up. Well, that basically concludes the video. You should have everything you need to know to make a successful twink. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me in-game at Shadow or Wrath, that's spelled with 2 V's, not a W, on Iron Rock, or email me at shadowwar@yahoo.com. I hope you enjoyed this guide, and you will do great in your future twink.